in terms of the individuals competing for this top job, you mentioned his ethnic minority background. Of course, he is one of the first BAME ministers, and in fact, he is the first BAME minister to hold one of the main offices of state as Home Secretary, Sajid Javid. He released a video yesterday talking about the need to deliver Brexit, and that really has been the prism through which we can see this Conservative leadership contest, because of course you have 4 previous ministers, ex-ministers inside Theresa May's government, all of whom resigned on an issue of principle, in their words, essentially, to do with her handling of Brexit. And the cabinet has been really divided over the last couple of years about the process through which the UK should leave the EU. Those who are competing that are still inside the cabinet have a variety of views, but essentially what we're looking at from an investor perspective, a business perspective, is what their view is on trying to leave without a deal. Because of course Parliament, the building behind me, has voted against that possibility, but there are candidates who say that is something they would pursue. And one of the most hardline ones, the former Brexit Secretary Dominic Raab, he's hinted at the idea that it's possible for the executive branch of the British government, embodied by the Prime Minister, to do that unilaterally, without parliamentary approval, something that a lot of members of his own party, let alone the opposition benches, would be very unhappy at the prospect of that happening. In terms of the other candidates, of course, we've had a number of them who've stood for the leadership before, including Boris Johnson, including Andrea Leadsom, including Michael Gove. All of them eventually gave way to Theresa May, and she was made Prime Minister and leader of the Conservative Party without it being voted on by Conservative Party members. That is one of the potential reasons, of course, why she called the general election, to try and strengthen her mandate. She obviously lost the Conservative majority during that election in 2017, and that itself became one of the reasons why we ended up with such a prolonged process around Brexit, because she wasn't able to get the legislation through Parliament because her party did not have a clear governing majority.
Willem, just give us a sense of what the chances are now of the hard Brexit scenario, because if we look at the way sterling has traded, it has plunged from some of its higher levels, so it basically busting out of a trading range. Do you think some of those moves are justified when you weigh up the scenarios of who could be most likely to take the leadership and then what stance they would take on Brexit?
Well, if you listen to the language, Karen, from some of these candidates for the leadership, when it comes to no deal, there's a number of them who've said that this is an option they're perfectly willing to pursue, and that may be one of the reasons that currency traders, investors looking at the strength of the pound are getting a bit nervous around that possibility. Because, of course, if you go back a couple of months, it was ruled out by Parliament, and we saw the pound strengthen on the back of that decision by Parliament. So this language coming from some of these candidates, which potentially is going to appeal to the Conservative Party membership that would ultimately get a final vote on the final 2 candidates that remain during the elimination process, those candidates being quite hardline about the possibility of no deal could be what's making investors nervous, yes.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.